We are here today with Franz at Fayetteville Hyperbarics. He just finished his 11th hyperbaric treatment, and he's going to tell us about his experience and what he has experienced so far with hyperbarics. Go ahead.
Hi everybody, how's it going? My name is Franz Robinson, as you heard, and I'm a former 10th Special Forces Group guy who's now retired. In 2008, I came home from Iraq and I sustained a lot of headaches, or I suffered from a lot of headaches, and those headaches never went away. Some days they were on a scale of 1 to 10, a 3, and some days they were a 10. And the headaches just never went away. And it was something I got used to living with and just thought it was normal, and would take some naproxen or some Motrin to help me with that when I needed it. A friend of mine named Beetle, who came through the hyperbaric chamber just recently, told me about the treatment and thought that maybe I would be a good candidate for some of the things that were going on for me. I reached out to the Special Forces Foundation and asked them if they could help me out with paying the bill that it would cost, the fee that it would cost to come here and be treated. And they asked me one of the main reasons why I thought I should be treated. I'm a big believer in the NFL and pro football players and some of the injuries that they've been suffering from. And one of my favorite football players that I used to follow was Junioe Seau. And he was a guy that did great things for his community in San Diego and for his young brother, who was involved in a lot of gang-related violence. And it was strange to me when all of a sudden, out of the blue, he committed suicide. And I know that a lot of football players suffer from a disease that is related to concussions. And so I've been following this, and I always wondered, guys that are in Special Forces who do a lot of things with demolition and go to the range a lot and blow up a lot of a lot of charges, could possibly also be suffering from this same type of ailment that's alienating some football players. And so I told that to the Special Forces Foundation, and they thought that maybe that is something that's going on within our community. I was lucky enough to be a member of the CIF, the Commanders in Extremis Force, in Charlie Company in 110, stationed in Stuttgart, Germany, at Panzer Kaserne. And I worked with some of the greatest soldiers in the world, and it was an honor and a privilege. But I do know that we did a lot of CQB, and we did a lot of charges throughout the week, throughout the months, and over the 5 years that I was with that unit, including downrange in Iraq and Afghanistan, where we blew a lot of doors off of homes to get inside. And there were a lot of times where we're supposed to have a minimum distance where we're supposed to stay away from these charges. But in the actions of combat and hardcore training, you have a tendency to move closer to the door than you should. And a lot of times, guys in that community would get inside the house, whether it was in training or in combat, and you would feel those side effects of a concussion or from that major blast. And I've always wondered if maybe all that quality training that I had over the years with the CIF and downrange were some of the reasons why I suffered from so many headaches, and headaches on a daily basis.
So how has this helped hyperbarics?
Being an 18 Delta, when I first came here, believing in modern medicine, I was just like, holistic medicine, we'll see. I'm not sure it'll really work for me, but I'll give it a try because I'm really tired of the headaches, and I'd hope that something would make these headaches go away. About my 3rd treatment and my 9th treatment, I left the chamber for the first time in 8 years with no headache. I really couldn't explain anything. Now, the headache did come back about 5 or 6 hours later, but for the first time in my life, in 8 years, I didn't have a headache for a short period of time in the day. And it was a nice feeling, it was a wonderful feeling, and I hope that over the time that I have the rest of my treatments here in the Fayetteville Hyperbaric Chamber, that we can get rid of these headaches and make them completely go away.
You've also had some other progress in other parts of your body, so explain that too.
Yes, ma'am. Last August, I was involved in a motorcycle accident down in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I was run over by a young man on my bike, where I was actually pinned underneath my car and crushed. I sustained a brain bleed, 3 broken ribs, a lacerated liver, an open book pelvis fracture, a completely torn out knee that required 7 ligaments, 4 plastic screws, and 2 plates. It's called a Laprade procedure to repair my knee, and then a broken foot completely across my metatarsals on my right foot. My pelvis was put back together with 2 large long bolts through the upper portion of my left and right pelvis, and the symphysis pubis was put back together with a titanium plate and 6 screws. I've been going through physical therapy for almost 9 months now, and we're making major progress, but I'm always stiff and sore, and the joints just don't feel mobile like they used to, which is understandable. But since coming to the hyperbaric chamber, for some reason, after about the 5th treatment, I started feeling a lot of snap, crackling, popping in my feet and in my knee and in my pelvis and in my neck that I hadn't sustained in a long time before. And recently I've been able to, through physical therapy, reach a lot more flexibility than I ever had before. So I truly believe that the O2 treatment is helping those tissues in that area become more flexible and more pliable, and I'm getting better every day at a more faster rate than I was the last 8 months.
Very good. So you have 40 treatments in your prescription. You just finished 11.
Yes, ma'am.
So you've got a little bit more to go. So we're anxious to see how you progress in all this.
Yes, ma'am. So am I.
Thank you for the video, and I'm sure we'll do this again.
Yes, ma'am. Not a problem. Thank you.